friends get together so they can try things. You're invited to this podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
Hello and welcome to Now Try This, the podcast where I'm clear as day and Nick is blurry as fuck.
Why am I so blurry?
I have no idea what's happening, but this is the show where two best friends get together every week to try something new. I'm Marcus, and the blurry boy behind glasses is Nick. Oh, now he's clear. Wow. I was wondering if I needed glasses or something.
Guys, my name is Nick, and we are Now Try This, the podcast where two best friends try each other. What does that mean? That means every week. Oh, Marcus, can't hear you, Mark. Oh, good. Let me do the whole intro instead of Marcus. Let me take over this podcast. You guys can't hear Marcus because I have taken over. While he's figuring that out, let me explain to you what the show is. We challenge each other every week to try things. What does that mean? That means that we take our favorite thing, the thing that we are gut-wrenchingly passionate about, and make our best friend watch that thing. Like I've made him watch Gilmore Girls and The Notebook, and he's made me watch a lot of shitty horror movies.
Yeah,
that
that's
I
true.
can't. That damn, you're back. Okay,
I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I made you watch a lot of good horror movies, and Spooky Boys Month is around the corner, baby. So be prepared.
Oh my God, it is. Oh, I'm not prepared at all. I have no spooky boy things. Oh no. Oh God. I want you to know that I went to my Google and I almost typed in Spooky Boys Month for ideas, but we're not famous, so that wouldn't have brought anything up. So, but guys, this episode is different. This episode is powered by you because it's powered by Patreon. And we would love it if you joined our community at patreon.com/nowtrythiscast so you can help influence our tries. Like this month, you guys voted, and we are doing A League of Their Own. Not that old cockamamie movie from 1992. No, the new TV series on Amazon Prime. And is it too late to change the title of the episode?
It's not.
Marcus can do that right now.
Hell yeah.
Because we are not doing RRR. We are doing...
Are you sure we're not doing RRR? I would love to continue to talk about that movie.
Listen, we can talk about RRR all over again. Guys, check out our last episode of RRR. But this week is your challenge, Patreon challenge, A League of Their Own, given to us by... Oh gosh, what's her Twitter handle? I knew this. I forgot. Dash 9442. Dash 9442 is the person that has. Is that right? Did I do that right? Okay, great. Crushed it. They are the winner of this month, and their challenge has come through. We have watched the entire first season, A League of Their Own. We thought, let's watch an episode. And then we thought, no, you guys deserve more. So we decided to. And then we said, no, you guys deserve more. So we watched the whole season.
That's exactly how that happened.
It's not because Dash 942 is Marcus's girlfriend and they had already watched the whole first season. So she guilted me into watching the whole first season as well. That's not what happened. This was for you guys, the fans.
That's not what happened at all. Okay.
We watched the whole thing. Marcus, before we get into it, tell me your favorite moment from last week of RRR. And tell me what you've been up to.
My favorite moment of the episode of RRR, or favorite moment from RRR the movie?
Whatever. Pick your poison.
My favorite moment of RRR the movie is when...
Oh, I just got an ad.
Hell yeah. Is when it has to be, honestly, there's so many good moments. I love too many, and it's honestly overwhelming. But the dancing scene is probably one of my favorites.
I watched that the other day. by myself because I was like, I want to watch that dancing scene again. And guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, go check out our RRR episode. Was there a dancing scene in the movie, or were we dancing? You'll never know.
Never know until you listen to the episode.
Marcus, I love the friendship. Am I talking about ours or the movie? Again, you don't know.
Wow.
The friendship was my favorite part. Marcus, before I ask you what you've been trying new, let me tell you what I'm trying new tomorrow. Guess what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
Going to Jersey to film a little commercial.
Wow. What part of Jersey? So our fans can go kill you. Oh, okay.
Going to the Bay Street stop?
I don't know where that is. That sounds far.
I don't know. It's not that far.
Little movie star over here shooting commercials. Little movie star.
Guess what it's for? Guess what? You get 3 chances of any obscure thing you see on Instagram or Facebook to guess what this is.
Okay. It's for a leave.
Ooh, no. I wish I got that Aleve money. They got some good ass money at Aleve. You kidding me? Oh, no. I have a headache. Go!
Wow.
Sorry.
I like
Hire
that.
me, Aleve.
That's good.
Hire me.
That's good. I hire you on the spot. Okay, second shot. I think you're doing a commercial for adult diapers.
I made a poopy in my Pampers. No, it was not that. But I again would do that in a heartbeat.
I want that. I just got a Stream Deck. That's something new I'm trying, and I want that as like a sound button, like a radio DJ. If you just say, "I did poopy in my diaper."
Well, you have the audio. You have the technology.
That's true.
Oh my god! Now that you have a Stream Deck, are you gonna like mess with me with little like?
I think that is not something that resonates with current culture. It is definitely something that is sort of like boomer radio era of content creating.
Guys, so if you want us to do a boomer radio episode, I am all about it.
I watch H3H3 and they do a lot of the sound deck kind of stuff, and it is like
they're way more popular than we are.
Sure, but not because of that. They just get to do that because they're so popular.
Well, if you guys want us to do something like review like Rudy and be like old newscaster radio host, we will do that. Marcus, last try.
It is for a service.
I feel like I already told you. I feel like you already know what this is.
It is for a service.
Okay.
You are going to be it's like you ever watch those ads for Uncle Magic?
No, what's that?
Oh man, you just gotta watch it.
Okay.
But
it's an uncle who does magic?
Yeah, he's like, I'm the one all the celebrities call for their kids' birthday parties. It's that, but they want you to be the new Uncle Magic.
Oh, I wish, Marcus, it's my biggest regret in life that at an early age I did not practice magic. Because if I was a magician right now, I would love everybody.
I think I would like you less if you were a magician.
Would you? Or would you appreciate that ace of spades in your hat? Ooh. I didn't say now. It'll be there later. Check later. I'm an anticipatory magician.
Darren, okay. Darren is setting you up for failure. I know for a fact that she hates magicians and all things magic. We went to a haunted house and she walked right up to the magician's stage, right in front of him, was like, this is embarrassing for you, and left.
No, she did not.
She did. She 100% really? Did.
Really?
Yeah. So she hates magicians.
In my
right
head,
now, she's like, I don't think it's too late for you. I hate when you tell it like that. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Marcus, I love Darren. She's one of my favorite people, and I'm so happy that you have found her. And in my head, I have not done enough with Darren to ever experience like bad moments with Darren. So this is hilarious to me, imagining Darren being an asshole.
She wasn't. I am exaggerating.
Nah,
she wasn't, but it was.
She was an asshole. I'm sure she was an asshole. She might not be an asshole to us, but that magician.
Two magicians. I think there's a part of her that could be an asshole. It's there.
Marcus, it is for a frying pan company. I will tell all about it next week on the podcast.
She said it to me, but we were right next to the stage. He heard you.
This is an embarrassment. He never heard me. He never heard what I said. Marcus, really quickly, tell us what you've been up to so we can get to this gosh darn TV show.
I just came back from a trip to Niagara Falls. I went with my beautiful, lovely girlfriend, Darren, and we had a great time. It wasn't even for an anniversary or anything. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, but this is separate. And it was just a fun, nice trip that we decided to take.
Marcus, for everybody, so you can prove that you've been there, please sing to everybody the Niagara Falls tourist song. Let's hear it.
Niagara Falls, where the water falls from the sky. Niagara Falls, make sure you don't get water in your eye.
Hey, Marcus.
Yeah?
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Because that is exactly how waterfalls work. They fall from this waterfall sky. Where's it coming from? Marcus, today's podcast episode is for A League of Their Own. Gosh, it is an American period sports comedy drama. That's too many. Listen, when you listen, this is a fucking IMDb's Wikipedia.
How genres work.
You can't have 6 genres before your thing. American period sports. Comedy, drama, television series. That's not how it works.
I think with how much content there is out there, I think they're trying to get super niche with their keywords.
They're just trying to get that SEO.
Yeah,
that's all they're doing.
Yeah. They want the show to come up.
The show was created by Will Graham and Abby Jacobson, who is also in it. And I'm reading right from the Wikipedia. It is an adaptation of the 1992 film of the same name with new characters, new storylines about the formation of a World War II era women's professional baseball team.
Yes.
Starring the likes of Shantae Adams, Darcy Carden, Roberta Colindrez, and more.
A fictionalized story based in real life events that happened.
Yeah, I thought that it took me like 2 episodes and then I had to Google it to be like, how much of this is fiction? And you know what? A lot of it.
A lot of it is fiction, but
most of it is.
Yeah. It's fiction, but the event is real.
It's not even the events. It's just like
the
conceit of that a women's baseball team existed during World War II.
Not just a team.
A league existed during World War II, and that's like the extent of it. I thought there'd be more.
Yes. Yeah. So
but then I watched the show and I realized why.
Real life history of it, I don't know. I just was watching Drunk History and some random videos right before this to figure out. World War II, all the men were away. And then this guy with the last name Wrigley was like, hey, you know what would be a good idea? What if we get the ladies on there to go and do the baseball thing?
Honestly, it's really cool because all the men were gone. You know, I mean, it's
cool
right
in theory. It is cool, but the way it was executed was very poorly.
Sure, I'm sure it was very exploitative and wrong, and the fact that when the men came back, they were like, "Bye-bye," it was even worse. But
yeah,
I like to think about it in the lens of like, this is Rosie the Riveter time. This is women coming into their own. This is like, okay, you know what? We have been here. We're gonna be here. This is our chance. Was it facilitated by a man? Yes. Is that correct? No. But is it cool that women get to play baseball? Hell yeah.
Was it still exploitive? Yes. Was it still capitalist evils? Yes. Progress.
Did they have to wear short skirts as they played baseball? Yes.
Progress only because it affected the bottom dollar. Like that's it. Like it sucks.
Gosh, a lot of progress only happens because of
that, a lot of progress only happens because they needed it to happen.
Yeah. Even the progress of having this show exist is because Amazon was like, money.
Money, yes, please. I love it. But honestly,
that's how Bezos talks.
I like that this show exists, and I like that I was watching sort of interviews with some of the creators, and they were talking about how they were fans of the original movie, and they were watching it and are like, wow, there's a lot missing here. Like if you go into the history of it, they actually had one of the people that was actually on the Peaches join the show as a consultant and to give some insight into the sort of like the history and the timing of the thing. And she would even say that like 2/3 of the team was gay. And like, that's not shown in the original 1992 movie. And they have, even with the black woman, they're like, they have her come out in the movie and like, a ball kind of goes out field and she just throws it in there. And they like give her a look like, yeah, nice. But they don't say anything about it. They don't acknowledge like what black people were going through during this time. It's just like a little wink and a nod, like, yeah, you too, huh?
I want to give more credence to the story you're telling, but I forget the person's name. But yeah, that woman that consulted, she was only hired for the baseball, for the historical accuracies. And then Abby Jacobson and Will Graham took her out to dinner and let her know, hey, just so you know, this show's super gay.
Yeah.
And she came out to them.
Yeah.
This 90-year-old woman had been in the closet her whole entire life. In that moment, came out to Abby and Will and confided in her and told them all these things, which is Maybelle Blair. Thank you so much, Daron. Maybelle Blair. And then, even cooler, when they premiered the show, Maybelle was there at the premiere, and on stage, she came out to the world.
Yeah.
Because of the show. And
which is great.
So
it's very powerful.
Like, I don't think we can rave. We're not in a position where we're part of this marginalized group. So I don't know how much, there's not much I can speak on a personal level, but the fact that all these things are happening in the show is something that I feel like we're going to keep saying again and again and again during our review, because I think it's just so cool and good.
Yeah.
And
representation matters. It doesn't matter. Like it takes, any fucking idiot understands, well, not any idiot, but even the dumbest people should get it through their skulls that representation matters. So seeing a show that is so gay and sort of like realistic of the time and dealing with the fact that they had to hide it and all that stuff is really cool.
And on the other side, on the racism too. And on the fact that, Black women, were the last to get all of it.
Yeah.
They helped civil rights movements. They helped
suffrage.
I was saying suffragettes in my head, and I was like, that's not right. Suffragettes, suffrage, women's suffrage, and yet they were the last to benefit from both.
Yeah,
and so crucial to the history.
I was talking about earlier, where in the original movie there was like a little wink and a nod, but that was it. And so this version of A League of Their Own really dives into that whole thing and really gives some shines a spotlight on the fact that there were Black women that were in the Black male leagues at the time.
And Penny Marshall is the director of the original one. Have you seen the original?
When I was a kid, I saw it at some point.
I saw it as a kid, and then I saw it over the pandemic again with T. I watched it rather recently. It holds up. It's a really good film.
Really?
Penny Marshall has said in interviews she would have liked to include that stuff, but she wasn't allowed.
Of course.
She wasn't allowed.
Of course she wasn't. It was 1992. Yeah. Like
fun fact, do you know who anything else Penny Marshall has directed?
A League of My Own, a spin-off movie where she starts a baseball league in modern times of not the 90s and sees how successful it would be.
Well, the biggest thing she ever directed was Big with Tom Hanks.
Oh, never seen it.
Pretty big movie. Pretty big movie though. And she directed a whole bunch of things. But do you know who her brother is?
Who?
Her brother, Penny Marshall's brother.
Nope.
Gary Marshall. Do you know what he's directed? Runaway Bride, The Princess Diaries.
Wow. Really?
Whole bunch of fan favorites here on the show.
Really good way to overshadow this woman that created the thing that we're talking about, with her own brother. That's really sucks.
I was just saying there was only 1 degree of separation between this movie and this show and this movie and all the things.
And some of your favorite things of all time. Yeah, that's a fair point to bring up. I get it. It's okay. I'm just messing with you.
Those are my favorite movies in the world. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't need to defend myself. Listen, I love A League of Their Own. It's a great movie. Honestly, it's really fucking good. Madonna's in it. Gina Davis, Rosie O'Donnell. Like it's really good.
Yeah.
Like the play in that movie though is way more Gina Davis's character is like, oh man, I love baseball, but I have a husband. And then at the end of the movie, she chooses going back to her husband when he gets back from the war instead of going to play baseball. But like in a empowering way. Like it wasn't. I mean, the movie tried to frame it as best it could. It is a little whatever.
Yeah.
But she was like, no, I love my husband and I want to start a family. It was very, very like second wave feminism.
Sure. But there are also so many things that fall into play in movie making that I'm sure she, like the creator, had to have it end that way. There's a movie I saw on TikTok where that Nicolas Cage was in. I forgot what it was called, but he's like uncovering corruption, and the creator wanted. Did you see this TikTok too? The creator wanted the whole thing. There's a storm brewing. And then the creator at the end wanted a tidal wave to come and kill everybody. And that's how the movie ended. But like test audiences hated that ending so much, even though I think it's a cooler ending, that they kind of just made it, oh, Nicolas Cage catches the bad guy in the days one. And that's it.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
Stuff like that.
Didn't that just happen to Die Hard 3? Didn't they like change the ending of that?
Probably.
Like the criminals win in that one. Remember Die Hard 3? The guy like,
oh yeah,
they go up it is like one more scene. That happens all the time.
Yeah. It happens all the time, which is so stupid.
Yeah. I feel like directors want to be more ambiguous and more like divisive.
Yeah. More director's cuts. Let's bring more director's cuts. Why?
I don't agree with that.
I agree. I like it, or at least director's commentary on everything. Like we got Doctor Strange director's commentary, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, we haven't had one of these in a minute." Like, the only reason I think sometimes directors aren't as good as their edits. Sometimes directors need a good edit to like. Old man from in the chat just said Romeo and Juliet. What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on, finish what you were saying. They need an edit to what? Oh my god. Used to have an alternate happy
good
ending.
director. Bad directors need a good editor to like make the story make sense. Like I've seen, like I feel like there's movies where it's like on that. It's the same with like a book, right?
Yeah.
Like you write a book and then it's the editor that like saves the book, right? Romeo and Juliet used to have an alternate happy ending, like in the
original Shakespeare
in the 1400s. Old man Rum. I haven't heard about this director's cut 1402 version of Romeo and
Release
Juliet.
the director's cut, Shakespeare. Where is it, you coward?
The Willie cut, the playwright's cut. Me and Daron trying to make the same joke.
Let's talk about this show. I mean, we kind of have been talking about the history of it, but let's get into this specific version of the show.
Are you a fan of Abby Jacobson? She's a big part of the show. I am a fan of
her as a human being, yes.
Does that mean you don't like Broad City?
I have watched
That's mostly
Broad
what we're talking about.
I've watched, I like her, like in interviews and stuff like that, and as a creator, but I don't, Broad City, I liked the show, but it just seemed like a lot of work to kind of like catch up with it and add it to the things I was watching. I feel like it really, really needs to resonate with me for me to watch.
I understand. It was a very specific show. It was like it's like the Sex and City of the millennials, like a hipster Brooklynite millennials, like that, like the New York City. Like it was a very specific pastiche and like crowd and like, you know, but very cool. They come from UCB. They come from an improv, and Broad City started as a web series that they just made with their friends, really low budget, 6-minute YouTube videos. And it took off, and Amy Poehler and a whole bunch of people were like, holy shit, these girls are funny, give them a show. And they are obviously now hugely successful and making their own shit, like the fucking league their own. I think it's so cool. Like I love the show, I love their history, but the fact that like we're seeing them become adults in their artistry is like so cool, because we've seen them come up. And I feel like Broad City was the kind of show where it was really green. It was really raw. It was really new. It was really like their first baby. And it felt sometimes, not in a bad way, in a good way, that it was them trying to figure it out, right? Like their comedy, their own spin, what they wanted to say. And now that we're getting like, they've done other stuff since then, but in one of the interviews, she said she started working on this right after Broad City. But now this show feels so much more refined and like it knows exactly what it wants to say and what it's doing. Yeah. And that's so different than Broad City.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like Broad City 2 was kind of like more of a raw personal thing. But this is like also, I feel like you have to be careful. You have to do the research. You want to be inclusive. And if you feel like they carefully took the steps to do those things.
Yeah. And but it's just so cool because we got to see her grow her chops on her own thing. Yeah. We usually don't get to see that progress, right? Like there's so many people that are amazing. Like, you know, there are amazing directors and writers and stuff like that, and they're just like good, but then we didn't get to see like Jordan Peele is another one, right? Where we got to see his sketch on Mad TV, and then Key and Peele, and then him now as like an adult artist.
Bo Burnham,
the top creators. Bo Burnham is another great, because he started on YouTube, right? Same example. Yeah, you know, and now he is in a league of it. They're all in a league of their own. Nice.
You just niced yourself.
It was good.
Yes. Chat, let us know if that was good.
Nice. Did it. Nice.
Nick, all right, backwards hat still cool. This is not a thing. No one wears backwards hat.
No, somehow you're less cooler than me, and I just niced myself. Is that a Bills hat?
It's a Bills hat.
Are you a football fan?
I'm a Bills fan, and the Bills play football.
Name one player from the Bills ever.
One player from the Bills ever? Bill.
Bill. The most famous Bill player.
Plays football, and he does it real good.
No, I appreciate you putting on your sports paraphernalia for our sports show. So let's just get right into the show. What's the show about? Where do we start? What's going on? What's happening? Did you not hear me?
That's really bothering me.
Oh, okay. You paused
dramatically
just to fix your hair. I was very dramatic.
Thank you.
I was in awe.
Okay, so the show starts. I can't go beat for beat because I don't remember.
No, there's 8 episodes.
There's too many things, and each episode's like an hour long, right, or something.
Broad strokes.
Yeah, broad strokes. The show starts. You meet a few of the women and where they are in their lives. It starts off in a really interesting way. Abby is trying to, what is her character's name?
Carson Shaw.
Carson is running and trying to catch the train. She runs into family members. Her like bra is exposed and she catches the train last minute. And it's a very funny scene. And I think it's a great way to start the show and set up the tone of the show.
Yeah.
To let you know that, like, I feel like they could have easily started with like, this is where we were in America at the time. The war was raging overseas and women were oppressed. You know, like they could have easily started that way, but they start in a fun, light way and then kind of get to the heavy stuff later.
Now, I think I didn't think I would like Carson. When this show started, Carson is so reserved and questioning herself and what she says and what she does and like doesn't want to like exist in her own. And the way Abby Jacobson plays it
sounds like you just described what most women go through every day.
I did. I'm getting to the other side. Okay. And how Abby Jacobson plays it is like annoying. She's annoying. Like I found Carson annoying at the beginning and I'm like, you're so annoying. But then, and I was so scared I would hate the show because of it. But like the payoff Abby Jacobson brings, the like humanity she brings to the character as she grows on this journey, and there's a lot of growth. It's not like from start to it's like from episode 1 to 2 she's like grown. I figured it out. She's barely got there like by the end of the 8th episode. She still has room to grow. It's a wild ride. Like the personal growth in this show is I think what made it like really special.
I agree. I think that she is, I don't think I sort of had the same reaction to her at first, but
God, I really
if she didn't grow, then I would have probably been in that camp where I'm like, okay, she is very self-conscious and needs to question herself at some point. But it makes sense, right? Like she is someone 100%. Who doesn't have a lot of freedom in her area. She's probably like the quirky, weird girl, you know, like whatever. She doesn't get to explore any of her own personal interests necessarily. Very like sheltered life. And so this is her first, she's taking a big risk. She's taking a chance on herself finally. And it initiates the journey that she's going to take of self-discovery.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? There's so many shows that have a character like this. They start and it's like, oh man, I just don't know what to do. And they like don't make a decision. They never grow. They never say more. And I was scared we were gonna get that at the beginning because Abby Jacobson, I think she did too good of a job. I was like, oh man, you suck. You suck.
But I feel like also I like that she gave the character some sort of like place to start from and definitely room to grow. I feel like a lot of writers will make the character like this character that doesn't have flaws is perfect and is the reason that like I am curing sexism and racism all at the same time, you know? And it's like
that's the other way they can go, and that's even worse. You're right. Totally.
Yeah. And she didn't do that. She's someone whose character has a lot to learn.
Yeah, something I really thought would also happen during the show, and it really didn't, is I thought I would have to like contend with the white savior thing because we have a lot of white, you know, main characters, and you know, there's a huge focus, half the show really, on what's her name, Max Chapman, her character, who she, you know, can't try out for the team, and she wants to all she wants to do is play baseball, and she's this great player, but no one will watch her play. I really, really thought it would do this thing where it'd be like, oh, okay, Abby Jacobson's gonna like make her give it a shot.
Yeah, that's what I thought
and
too.
I would have dealt with it. I would have been like, fine, like these shows just do it all the time. But like, it really didn't do that at all. I will say it's one of my criticisms of the show, and I don't know if it's a fair criticism. What's one of your criticisms
of the show?
What I'm about to say.
Okay.
Is and I don't think it's fair because it's not how it happened in the real world. But the show is doing that thing where it's making you anticipate Max getting her shot at like being on the peaches.
And she like, well, she gets her shot at the end of the episode, at the end of the series,
on the peaches. Like they're telling these two parallel stories, and as a viewer, I'm so instinctively anticipating across a connection. And they did like a skate by, as her and Abby or her and Carson become friends.
Yeah.
But like then she goes her own way, which I ended up loving by the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
that's
on
fair.
episodes 4 or 5,
You
I
were
was like,
what the fuck?
Oh no.
Wow, a view we've never seen before from Nick.
I was like, can she just please get on the peaches already? I want to see her interact with my friends.
I had a little bit of that. I was like, oh shit, Max is going to join the peaches, which I feel like is the way they were writing it, right? She wants to show up to trial. You think that Carson is going to be this sort of like white savior. She's like, yes, I will change the rules for you and you can join. That's crooked. But it actually doesn't happen that way, right? Like I like the way they went more than if she had just joined the peaches, because it's more realistic. It's more true to life. They are brushing past each other's. Their stories are interacting with one another. But in that, instead of joining the peaches, she is gaining a friend in Carson and a confidant.
Yeah, and I love that. And then also her story is way more satisfying because she does it her own way, which is super important to that character and to the story.
Yeah.
You know, about that they don't need the white people.
Yeah.
So it was really, the payoff was good, but you know what I mean? Like that
I
we're just so taught for the anticipation. And like, it's just, you made me fall in love with all these peaches. And you made me fall in love with Max and her best friend, Clance.
Yeah.
And they never interact. And I was just like, oh.
That's fair. Yeah.
I wanted them to like be friends.
Daron in the chat brings up a good point. Carson is a good example of white passivity in that era. Like, she wasn't malicious towards Max, but they still pointed out she didn't do anything for her when she might have. Which, I feel like, you know, even though she wasn't actively being racist, she was not really fighting for Max to join the team.
Max calls her out.
Yeah.
Max is like, what did you do?
Yeah.
And she has to stay silent.
Yeah.
I will say it was super interesting. Let's pivot over to Max, because she's super interesting character, because
I like Max a lot.
I loved a lot of her, but she does this thing. And again, it was this growth thing where at the beginning I hated it. And then by the end, I realized she grew so much because of it. And listen, it's not that she hasn't been dealt a bad hand. She has. She's a black woman in the 40s, not a lot of opportunities. Everything's against her, right?
Opportunities. Like Jim Crow,
she makes every opportunity she has,
like all that shit. It's bad.
Well, she does have some. This is what the problem I had with her at the beginning. But her growth from this again really paid off, and I wasn't anticipating it. I thought, I was like, I'm gonna not like her. She is so I don't know the word. She's just so, she turns her hand up, ready to swat the world away in such a way that everyone was the enemy. And there are a lot of the enemy, but there are also moments where she makes her best friend the enemy, her mom the enemy, the dad the enemy, where, and I understand that feeling, right? When you've been othered your whole entire life, you're like, fine, I'm gonna other everyone else and then fucking protect myself.
Exactly.
She's doing that thing, right? But like the lesson she learns in the show is such a good one, where it's like, yes, be strong, make your own opportunities, stand up for yourself, but not everyone is your enemy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Not everyone is against you.
I think for Max, see, that's what I say. Like when I say I like someone, it's like I like the journey that they're going through. Because at the beginning too, I agree. She was someone who was standoffish. She had a chip on her shoulder all the time. And I think that it was nice to see her grow through the story and towards the end be like, okay, you are figuring out what your chip is and you're figuring out how to deal with it. And I really like that arc too. I like that she showed up and she couldn't necessarily perform immediately. When she was all talk for a long time, she was talk. And you know, she could back it up, but she had
she made her chance. She made her chance.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to fucking make it happen.
Yes.
And everyone had to shut up and listen. And she couldn't do it.
She choked. Yeah.
Such a good character moment.
It was a good great growth. Moment to have. Yeah. I feel like so many shows, I mean, not so many shows I've watched, so many movies have, some shows we've done on the podcast have this perfect person. And I'm tired of seeing that, especially like white male lead shows that are like series that are trying to be on for years and years and years, kind of have like a problem where it's like sometimes the main character is perfect and doesn't have flaws and doesn't need to grow. And that's boring as fuck to watch. And I think that this show and the writers make their characters very vulnerable. And I think the actors really sell it. They sell how hard it is to be a person at the time. And during the interview, they made a great point. Movies and media about minorities and disenfranchised groups of people, gay people, whatever, they have a habit of making the focus of the narrative on the pain, on the torture. It's torture porn for everything that they went through, trauma. They really want to highlight all the trauma. And this show doesn't do that. I think it handles everything with care, and you can see the pain that people are going through, especially with like that one scene where she just wants to buy some crabs for a party. Like you can see that the sort of like trauma that is there, but it's sort of like in the way that it is more realistically there, that they have to deal with it every single day. And because they have to deal with it every single day, they have more thick skin because of it, but some moments still break through that thick skin. And I thought that was really well done.
They're still all people with hopes and wants and insecurities and strengths and weaknesses. And I think that's this show. I think that's its biggest strength. I would agree with what you're saying and about what this interview said and your thoughts on it. I think the strongest part of the show, when I texted you and I was like, oh, I'll finish the show, making sure that you did too.
Yeah.
And I called it very watchable. This show is so watchable. Like, we can rave about the acting and the big moments, and those are all great. And the sports and all this stuff, it felt pressurized and high stakes. But for me, what I need from a show to like really just watch it and feel good about, and not feel like I'm wasting my time sometimes, is when all the characters and the people just feel lived in. They feel real. Like, there's moments like this where there's half that episode is that stupid crap thing, and it's not even our main character, and it's not important to the Peaches, and it's not important to baseball, and it's not about any of the other things going on. But I was almost the most riveted for that, because it was real. It was honest. It was like what these people are really going through. And like you said, everything else, the trauma, the racism, the homophobia, everything in the show all influences all that stuff. It's a part of it all, but it's not about that. Because these people are more than just who they are. These parts of them, they're full, complete human beings. And this show really, really does that well. Like, Greta, the Carson's girlfriend in the show, she like, I don't even have like a beat on her all the way yet. And I like watched this whole show, and it was so cool because she was still mysterious, and I loved watching it. Like, I still don't know her, like, everything that made her tick, and we got some of it right, like her ex-girlfriend and what happened about when she broke the rules and all that was in there, but there was so much more. And it felt that way. It didn't dumb me down and like have a big info dump of all that stuff. It was so cool.
It was great in the way that I feel like a lot of shows forget. A lot of shows, I think, have their characters existing based on like a one-line description of the character, and this feels like they played D&D with these characters. They are fully fleshed out, lived in. They have a backstory a mile long. They really
they do.
They
really do.
And it's like, wow, you forget how hard that is to pull off in a show. And when you see it, it's impressive.
It's not a perfect show though, because I will say one thing. I know maybe 6 people on this team pretty well. I don't have any fucking idea who the other 10 people on the team are. And I think that's a little bit of a problem, because even in the final episode, when all the girls are there, like we finally did our last game, and I'm like, who are you? I've never seen you before. And it is an hour-long show.
Look, man,
we did have
you could have had a little more. It's not My Hero Academia. Where they
but it should be.
But it could be.
Those are why we love those shows.
Yeah,
we had a whole fucking arc with Rock Lee, and then he was never important again. Like, and he's people's favorite person. That's the point. That's the one thing that I criticize the show for, and it's a big problem with American cinema, TV and cinema, where they just don't think people care or have the patience, or they don't care or have the patience. I don't know.
They might not have the time to do it.
They make more episodes. It's fucking Amazon. They just gave like $500 million to make a Lord of the Rings show that everyone's lukewarm on. Like they could have made 3 more episodes.
Yeah, give one of those millions of dollars to this show and let them make more episodes.
That's all you need. Daron, the actress who played Jess, literally wrote her own like 55 character biography. Really?
55-page character Bible. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, that was such a good. See, but like Jess, right? That's a great example. Jess was the girl who refused. She wore pants all the time. I loved her character. She was Canadian, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she was Canadian. Loved her character. She didn't have a lot of screen time. She didn't like have a lot of moments that were completely her own. We didn't follow her backstory. We didn't follow big actions with her, but she still felt lived in and real and honest. And she was a big part of the show, even though I don't really know that much about her.
Yeah.
Like that is good writing. That is good acting. I think that these actors are fucking good. We could have had that with all these characters, but all I know about that one girl is she kept asking Abby Jacobson if she could be starter catcher, and Abby Jacobson kept saying, "Oh, I don't know," and that's all I know about her. That's all I know about her. I don't know her name. I don't know where she's there.
Yeah. You know what? I don't necessarily think I agree with that because I don't think all shows kind of need that. But when it does happen, like I fucking love Shikamaru Naruto. I love when they get those random characters having those big moments. I wouldn't mind seeing that in the show too.
Marcus, when it's called A League of Their Own, I want to know about the league. Show me the league. Don't fucking have a fucking picture with all these people lined up on your poster when I don't know any of their goddamn names because you didn't give them any story.
I'm
fair. Off my high horse.
You know what? That's a season 2 thing. Let season 2 of the show come, and then maybe we'll get the backstory for Anna.
I'm just saying, DeLuca, Greta's best friend. She feels like she should be a huge part of the show. She's got this arm that when she gets traded away to the other team, it was like it was crippling for their playoff win. Marcus, tell me one goddamn thing about Joe DeLuca.
Joe DeLuca? Wasn't she the one that used to date the main character? Not Jesus Christ.
No, she's Greta's best friend. She's your best friend.
Yeah, that's what I know about her.
Yeah, I said that telling you about her. Tell me one other thing about it.
That was the main thing. I feel like they were close. They used to have some kind of history. It might come up.
What's that history?
They were going to run away together, maybe. They used to date. Because they love each other.
I don't think they used to date.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're just best friends, dude.
I don't know. I feel like I got date vibes. Because they were like, let's run away together. Childhood best friends.
No, they were best friends.
Very good.
Yeah, they were like Laverne and Shirley. They were like,
whatever.
We're okay.
Whatever.
Anyway,
they had a history, okay? And I guess you're right. Maybe they could have delved more into it.
The girl that looks like Madonna, she felt like she was a character that we finally, in the last episode, find out she's a mom. That could have been really interesting the whole fucking show.
I think about all the things that happened in this show, and I would have liked more episodes to really dive in more to these characters, but also I'm happy. I'm happy with the amount I was shown. I don't think we need a whole side plot with every single character in this show. I don't think so.
Because we don't need a 10-minute montage of Greta and Abby Jacobson making out.
Fine.
That could have been 2 minutes.
You know what, Nick? A League of Their Own cinematic universe. I'd be more than happy to watch that. Everyone gets a fucking spin-off movie. Okay?
Ooh, each of the teams? That'd be so cool. That'd be super cool.
Just this one team. Every person on the team gets their own movie. That's what I want to see.
You know what? We're joking a little bit, but that is something that I feel like streaming services just don't capitalize on. Like Disney's starting to do it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we get 10-minute, 15-minute Groot little mini movies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
There's no reason we can't have a 20-minute episode little thing that's just on there that just follows one of these main characters. People would watch it. I feel like it would be great. It would fill out the story, not take away from your main story. Like it's like a comic book thing, right?
I agree.
You can have spin-offs.
Yeah.
Make a 20-minute short little thing.
Some of my favorite Star Wars content is all the extra shit that they have. It's not really the main Star Wars movies. It's like the book that they wrote on this one character or like whatever. That's my favorite shit. I love it. Exactly. I would love to see that of more content.
Imagine having a 30-minute little mini episode where the girl that speaks Spanish, Esti, who's from Cuba, and we go back to Cuba on the off season, and she's like talking to her family who like doesn't believe she's a baseball player, or she's like deals with some stuff and then she comes back for the new season.
Yeah,
just like that would be so cool. Would you watch the shit out of that?
I do think that I'm going to sort of give the show a break.
Did you whistle?
Bit.
What was that? Were you
I didn't
whistling?
Whistle on anything.
I heard a whistle. My headphones just
bust in your ear.
Yeah. Sorry.
I feel like I'm going to give the show a break because I feel like there's more seasons to come. There's room to do all of this. I could see the show having an episode entirely in Spanish, just about this character going back home, talking to her family, whatever. Like, it's not, it is plausible for this show to do, which is good. Which is a good
You're super
start.
right. That's a great point. You fucking win the argument. That's 100%. There is more time. I will say there's not that much time because the Peaches only existed for 4 seasons or something, and then all the men came back.
That is 4 years. Nick, come on. Have you watched TV before?
This show was a whole season, a whole year.
Nick, have you watched TV before? How many minutes was the Frieza fight in Dragon Ball Z? That was a whole season. That was like 8 minutes of time.
That's fair. That last season of How I Met Your Mother, the whole last season was just Barney and Robin's wedding. The whole season.
If they want to have a whole season that is 1 day long, they could fucking do that.
That would be so cool.
Daron says, God, that was terrible.
All leading up. Oh my God. Oh, that's Haikyuu does that in the 3rd season of Haikyuu. You know how they're leading up to that big match, the Japanese national championship. The whole their 3rd season is just the one game.
Really?
And it's fucking phenomenal.
I'm just saying, you could stretch shit out.
You won.
You could stretch it out. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It was still good despite the ending, but I hated the ending. The mother was amazing, and the episode focusing on her was great. I'm sorry, Old Man Arm. What did you hate about the ending? I liked the ending. I like
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, you're talking about How I Met Your Mother. Yes. Sorry. The mother. I agree with everything you said, Old Man Rob. The mother was amazing. The season was great.
They should remake that
ending
show.
Was bad.
They should remake that show.
They do. It's called How I Met Your Father, starring Hilary Duff.
Wow. And Nick, you know what's time for? It's time to talk about other remakes in our game today.
Roll the
clip. Now try this trivia. Now try this trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia this.
And we're back. Nick, you're blurry again. I guess it's when we come in and out.
Something about it's about your thing reconnecting or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Weird.
Okay. Nick, I'm going to play this game with you because I did not see it.
It's slowly getting more focused. Why? That's weird. That's super weird. Okay. Sorry. Go on.
Now try this.
Oh, playing it together?
Yeah, we're playing it together. You ready?
I love that.
Now try this. Last time
I fucking lost. Now try this.
You lost hard. That was embarrassing for you.
Guys, you watched me fucking royally fail in RR. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Game is called Now Try This a Second Time in a Different Way with a Fresh New Cast.
Wow. Daron really tried harder after I ragged on her about the title of her game last time. And Daron, that was a good title. Marcus, can you say it again? I loved it so much. I want to hear it again.
Now try this a second time in a different way with a fresh new cast. Love it.
Good.
I love it.
Producer of the year.
The game is this. Which version of the same movie is rated higher on Rotten Tomatoes?
Ooh.
Right? Okay. Good game. Yes. I didn't even know what the game was. She hit it for me. Bonus points if you guess the difference between the two ratings. We got to do math. We could do math.
I can do math.
You can do math. Okay. Little Women 1994 and Little Women 2019. Winona Ryder versus Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan. I mean, does Daron know that Little Women is my favorite book and that I love these movies? And she just happened to put this one on there.
Have you read the sequel, Big Women?
Actually, the sequel to Little Women is Little Men, and it's about Joe running an orphanage.
You know what's fucked up about that?
What?
Should have been called Big Women. Would have watched that one. Would have watched that book.
Anyway, I love Little Women. I love that. Oh, the new one is 100% rated more. That new one was directed by Greta Gerwig, and it was like praise. And Emma Watson was in it. Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, Timothy Chalamet.
There was a hype train around it. I feel like when there's a hype train, people just mass review things positively.
Yeah, and I think the Winona Ryder, while good, and like it's just one of those movies where it's like it was older, so it like wasn't perfect. Like people love it, but like you know, it was of the time a little. I
feel like okay, so let's go. Little Women is the one that's more, and then what's the percentage difference? I want to say like 12, between 12 and 20.
I think you're totally right. I think Little Women now I would guess is 96%, and then the old one I would guess would be 84. So 12. I would also 12. Yeah.
Didn't the on RRR, I feel like
the new Little Women, Women's 96.
There you go.
And go ahead.
I feel like on the last episode of RRR at the end, didn't we do a whole Halloween thing where I was just rating Rotten Tomatoes things? It's good.
Yeah.
We're good at this.
For horror movies. We'll see.
Now for non-horror movies, I can't do it.
Let's see.
Oh, wow. 2019, we were right by 2%.
Oh, whoa.
So it's one. Little Women, the original, has 93%. Little Women, the new one, has 95% from Rotten Tomatoes.
I said 96.
You were close. Pretty close. You're close.
I was pretty close. We thought it was way bigger. Wow, maybe that movie's better than I remember. It was just I saw it so long ago, and I really love Saoirse Ronan, Timothy Chalamet, Florence Pugh.
Nick,
like those are like.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
This is, I guess, a quiz directed at you because the first one was Little Women. The second one's Ocean's 11. Darren doesn't trust me in my Rotten Tomato skills. Where are the horror movies, Darren?
Well, technically, Ocean's 8 isn't a remake or a reboot because Sandra Bullock's character is
you did this to me last time also, where you preempted me for something that I wasn't even going to say.
This is the Rat Pack.
Ocean's 11, the 1960 version, or Ocean's 11, the 2001 version. Which one's Frank Sinatra versus George Clooney?
That's pretty good. I feel like, oh gosh, it's so hard to not put my modern gaze on it because I'm always like, obviously the new one.
Yeah,
because I like that movie so much.
Nick,
what do you think?
Said modern gaze, and I was like, who are you calling in? What person are you phoning a friend?
Modern gaze, yeah.
It was like, oh, I have to get my modern gaze on it. They'll know the answer.
I'm calling up modern gaze.
Okay. I was like,
what do you think?
You can't refer to our friends like that. Okay. I would say Ocean's 11 is more highly rated.
Marcus, they're both called Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11 is more highly rated.
That's correct.
Is Ocean's 11 the first one in the thing? I don't remember all of them. I thought it was 11. Is it 11, 12, 13, 14, 15? How many of them are there?
11, 12, 13, 8.
Okay. So Ocean's 11.
It's the one you saw.
The 2001 version, I think, is highly rated. I think people love that movie.
And I think it's like a cult classic.
The original, I feel like is 60% or 70% for nostalgia. And the new one, I think, is like high 80s.
I would guess mid 70s for the old one, high 80s for the new one. I agree with you. So the difference would be like 15.
Okay, so new one fit the 15% difference.
That's our guess.
Okay, it's the new one. We're right, but by 36%. The original has 40%, and the new one has 84%.
Oh, we're close with it.
Closer, yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
We got
you kind of liked that movie, right? You thought it was fun, right?
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, we did it on the show. All right.
Okay. Oh, this one's for me.
They are rebooting that again with Margot Robbie.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's fair. The next one is Dune 1984 and Dune 2021. Now, the new Dune got a lot of hype and people liked it, but I feel like people had problems with it too.
Audience score.
The original Dune, everyone fucking hated. Openly hated. I loved it. I thought it was great, but they openly hated it, and I get it.
I think remember Rotten Tomatoes is the critics. I think love
the new one. I
bet the audience score has like a 20-point difference. It's probably massive, but
a 20-point. I think it's going to be like a 50-point difference.
50 is a lot. 50.
I think it's 50. I think it's at least 50-point difference.
I think you're right. I think somewhere in the 90s and somewhere in the 50s, 40s.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep. That sounds right. Okay.
50 50
Dune, new one, and 50-point difference. Wow, very close. Dune, the new one, you're right, by 41%.
Ooh.
So 9% difference. The new one has 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the old one has 42%.
Marcus, can I just get on my high horse really quick again?
Mm-hmm.
I saw Dune next with Lexi, and both on her I agree that was a perfect movie. We fucking
I remember
loved that.
We did
movie.
It on the podcast.
I thought you had more problems than I did.
100%, I had more problems than you did.
I thought it was a perfect goddamn movie. Like, I think so fondly on that movie. Like, I almost don't want to watch it again.
You're lighting up right now talking about it.
It was so good. It was Oscar Isaac, oh my God, maybe I like Timothy Chalamet too much.
Maybe.
To be fair, Call Me by Your Name I think is a piece of trash and like problematic.
Well, that's different than not liking Timothy Chalamet. He didn't make the movie.
But that's too low of a score. Dune deserves better score.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Justice for Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. Okay, next one. West Side Story, the original, and West Side Story, the new one.
Once again, Daron, a movie that I love. One of the first musicals I've seen, and the first musical where I saw people like me and thought, maybe I can do this. So, pretty good.
Started your life of struggle as an actor.
Rita Moreno was the first Puerto Rican Oscar winner. I mean, very important. It's very important. So let's see. Adrienne Barbeau won. Oh God, they both won Oscars for Best Supporting Actress.
I think the new one had a lot of hype.
I think the old one has higher.
You think it's higher hype?
It's a fucking classic.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like one of those movies. Like I think the Ansel Eglofs of it all like made this one maybe.
I feel like it's close.
The other ones in the 90s. I do too.
I think it's close. I would be willing to give it to the old one.
That's where my gut goes. Okay, but
let's do it.
Let's do
old one.
Let's do like 5 points.
5%. Yep. Okay. Wow. The old one, we were right, but by 1%. Yep.
Whoa. What's the scores?
92 and 91.
Have you seen the new one?
I have. Did we do it for the podcast? Maybe not.
No, I didn't have a chance to give it to you because we had too many things. Yeah.
Maybe I might have watched it thinking you were going to give it to me and then you didn't.
It was too many things that month. It was December and there was like too much going on.
Yeah.
Officer Krupke, you're really upset. Sorry, go ahead.
The one where it rained at the end. I don't remember it raining at the end of the original Dune movie, unless that's in reference to something else. I do not know. Sorry, old man Rom. Let us know. Okay, next one. It 1990 and It 2017.
How fucking dare you add this part to the game? I don't give a shit. You can answer it. I don't want to.
We did have a conversation in Joseph's house about how you were scared of clowns.
Protest.
You're protesting this one?
Okay. Protest. I don't give a shit. They're both zero. Zero
was technically a television like miniseries, and
it was a television movie. It was 2 movies.
Television miniseries is what it's listed as, and the new one is.
You have 2 movies. It's not a miniseries. I'm even more mad at this.
But it was edited together and pitched and sold as a movie in the sort of like post-marketing field. I would say the It 2017. I liked that one. I thought it was pretty good. Only the first movie score. Okay. I would say the It's the new one has a higher score, and I would say it's like 83%, and the old one is probably like 65. It was like a long movie, so I feel like maybe it didn't get a lot of love, and I feel like maybe later it kind of became a cult classic. A lot of older horror movies were hated and then became popular later.
I'm trying to like fucking disassociate from my body to not be in this
okay, we'll move on.
I'm so uncomfortable.
83% and 86%. I literally said 83%.
Whoa.
It was the new one by 3%. I said the new one, but I did not say 3%. That was a bigger difference. So
we get a point. Nice.
Another point. Next one. We got every single one of these right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bonus round. Gaga versus Streisand versus Garland versus Gaynor. Rank the following 4 separately made Hollywood productions by rating. A Star is Born 2018. A Star is Born 1978. A Star is Born 1954. And A Star is Born 1937.
These movies are loved.
The new one, everyone loved.
I didn't.
Fair.
I thought it was good. I thought
it was good.
Half the movie was good. The second half didn't know what it was doing. It fell apart at the end.
I really liked it, but I didn't like it as much as everybody else did, is where I'm at.
Sure. I thought the first half of the movie was glorious. It was great. Them getting together and finally doing it. And then Lady Gaga sang a song about jeans and was like fucking a little brat in a bath thing. And then her husband killed herself. And I'm like, what is this?
I don't remember the movie well enough to comment on any of this, but I'm going to say
I can.
That I liked it, but less than everybody else. Okay. Rate it.
I mean,
rate it, bitch. I mean, right now.
I would say Streisand, Gaga, Garland, and then the one I don't know.
Streisand, Gaga, Garland, Gaynor.
Yeah. That's what I don't know. That's what I think. I can explain my thought
process. Pretty much in the same order, but switching Gaga and Streisand. Let's see.
Yeah.
No, they're mostly very highly rated. The 1937 one has a perfect score of 100%.
Holy shit.
But only has 23 reviews. The 1954 one has 98%, 45 reviews. The 2018 one has 90%, 500 views. And the 1974 one has 35%. And
Streisand has a 35%?
Yes. And it says, and I haven't seen it, but likes Justice for Barbara.
I put her number one. I just figured Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Wow.
That one we fucked up. But that was bonus. And so we got a perfect score in my brain. How about your brain? Perfect score?
My brain, we got like 172%.
Wow. Hell yeah. Especially with how close we were on some of the percents. I count it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. We're supposed to get one number out of 100.
That was tough.
It's too hard. We got close enough.
Too hard.
Yeah.
Too hard. Justice for Dune and Barbara Streisand.
Actually, Daron, tell us how many points we got, including the bonuses. which we got to keep track. No, we got one. We got everyone made one right. All the questions right. We missed the last bonus. Okay, well, you could be more generous with some of the percents. Okay,
we
Daron?
did not get.
We got more than 5 points.
We definitely got more than 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
Come on now.
How dare you? I'm taking away all of Daron's loyalty points in the Streamlabs thing right now. I just want her to know that. Goodbye.
Great thing to do on a woman empowerment episode.
No, I'm sorry. I'll give everyone points, actually. Hold on. Give me a second. Nick, get us back into talking about the episode while I give everyone points in the chat.
I think I want to... There's too much to talk about in the show, to be completely honest. I mean, we could have done this episode by episode and done a full podcast episode of each episode. So we can't talk about everything. But one thing that I just really want to talk about, I think, is my favorite character in the show. And it surprised me. Because I love Abby Jacobson. I thought Darcy as Greta was great. I thought Max Chapman was fucking phenomenal. And I thought her best friend was one of the best people on the show. Clarence? Mm-hmm. She was one of the best people on the show. But my favorite was actually Lupe, the pitcher. I loved that character. Played by Roberta Colindrez. I thought she was just so, like, good at doing exactly... Like, I thought she just embodied that character so well. And I just believed everything. Like, when she was being a brat about not pitching, I bought it. When she was, like, at odds about coaching, I bought it. Mm-hmm. And then when they finally came to terms and got to the same side, I bought it so much. Heard Kevin to take care of Esty, I bought it. And then all illuminating into, like, when Abby Jacobson's character found her at the bar, to when she told Esty about her kid that she had to give away, to like her whole trajectory to the show was she was playing second fiddle to some of the main characters, right? She didn't have quite as much screen time.
Yeah.
But every time we went there, I just bought it so much. And I just wanted to give her a shout out because I just loved her.
I loved
her so much.
I absolutely loved her. I want to see her in more stuff too. Like, she was absolutely incredible as a character. She sold the heart behind it. She sold the strength behind it, and the like sort of like connection and charisma she had with Max too was like beautiful. Loved it all.
Wait, with Max?
Wait, which character are you talking about?
The Mexican?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the wrong one. I thought you were talking about someone else. I missed it.
Who are you talking about?
I was talking about, God damn it.
The best friend?
The best friend.
The best friend? Clarence?
Max's best friend. That's why
she was Lexi's favorite. She's also
I saw Clarence in the chat, and that's why I thought you were talking about, because I missed the name.
But you totally talk about it after. But I'm talking about the pitcher. I'm talking about the
Mexican. Clance. I loved Clance. That's who I'm talking about.
Clarence is the best friend.
Clarence is the best friend.
Yeah,
the pitcher is Clarence.
No, the pitcher is Lupe.
Who are you talking about right now, Nick?
The pitcher.
I try to give points to the chat for 5 seconds, and I miss everything. Why didn't you write Clarence, Lexi? Who's Clarence? You confused me about everything. Derailing the whole podcast.
This is my favorite person on the show. No, Lupe, the pitcher, she was my favorite.
Thank you.
I was Googling her right beforehand. She was in the original Broadway cast of Fun Home, which I did not know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's so good. I think for me, I think so we've talked about it before, but one of the reasons why I love sports dramas, and at the end of the day, this is a sports drama. They're a sports team.
Yeah.
Lupe's character just embodied what I think it felt like for these women some of these women to be on this team so much, because her character was like, this is my only shot.
Yeah.
This is all I have. And while Abby Jacobson's character, Shaw, was like, I love her character and I love her story and her growth. At the end of the day, she could go back to her husband. She could keep playing ball. She had options, it felt like, like Greta.
Sure.
Yes, maybe she'd go to California. She'd be fine. She went here. Lupe's character felt like this was it.
Yeah.
Like the stakes were there for me with her.
Yeah.
And when she pitched her arm out, I felt so bad. And when she was fucking upset about it, I was so there for it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And the fact that she was a point of sort of a resistance for Carson too, was really good. I like
it. Really worked.
Mm-hmm. And I like how dedicated she was to the team, but also sort of how she, like you said, it was her only shot at the whole thing.
Yeah.
She was a great character also.
Yeah. I mean, it was fucked up. They went into practice without her. That was fucked up.
Fucked up.
I would have been pissed too.
It was fucked up.
That was really fucked up.
Let's have night practice, the special night practice without her.
Without her.
Yeah. I feel like I am glad Nick Offerman left the show. Speaking of sort of the reason that they started having night practices without her, Nick Offerman was on the show. He was sort of I am the coach. He was the Tom Hanks character.
Yeah.
But then he left. And I like that a lot.
Very different than the Tom Hanks character.
Yeah.
In the movie, Tom Hanks has a big role to play, and he's kind of saving the day a little bit here and there.
Of course.
But he's also an alcoholic and has his own whole story. When Nick Offerman came, I told Lexi, I was like, oh, he's an alcoholic. And then he wasn't. And I was like, oh, wait, I have no idea what's happening. This is totally different than what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And it felt really real. Yeah. He was like, yeah, here. And then behind the closed doors, he's like, this fucking doesn't matter. These fucking women can't play baseball.
Yeah.
It was so honest to what men do.
Yeah.
And the good ones, they're fucking still dicks.
Yeah. No good men.
I agree.
Yeah. Including us. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. We think of fucked up shit all the goddamn time.
Okay. So I'm glad he left and made room. I think that was a really smart choice to really let the women shine on the show and sort of see them have to struggle in taking on a leadership role in this new world, especially with the fact that most women definitely at the time weren't in positions of leadership as well. And so watching Carson have to take on the position of coach, even though she was very capable, was good to watch.
Yeah. And Lupe as the foil really worked, especially because when they came together, it was so satisfying.
Yeah.
It felt so like a team when they finally agreed and were there together. And I was like, yes. And when Lupe calls her up and she's like, nah, I got this. Look at these fuckers. We got this. It felt like such camaraderie. It was so nice,
Yeah.
I think something that this show really got right is when you're in a marginalized group or you're a minority, turning to those people around you community is so important.
Yes.
And they nailed that in terms of the gayness of it all, in terms of the blackness of it all, in terms of the being women playing sports of it all, all these communities. You felt that so hard in the show.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I agree. I also want to talk about the character that I thought I was talking about, Clance. I absolutely loved Clance. I thought Clance was fucking flawless and great and amazing.
Stole the show every time.
Stole the show. She was lovable. She was a perfect counterpart for Max's character, especially in the parts where you were like, Max, come on. I think the fact that Clance was someone who was lovable, had a big heart, but also was sort of going through it at the time. Really was
Wasn't
great.
it heartbreaking? Wasn't it fucking heartbreaking when Max messed up her shot? She went to Clance and she was like, you don't even remember what today is?
Yeah.
And when her husband was getting shipped off?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, Max, you suck.
Yeah, 100%. But then also they really did a great job with the writing, because they also kind of flipped that a little bit on its head, because Max has a moment where she's like wanting acceptance, and she brings in her uncle, who comes in and he shows up, and you know, Clance is like, oh, good thing that like I forgot what she says, but like, good thing that Freak is out of there, something like that.
Yeah.
Or alluding to
she
that.
called him a freak.
Yeah.
She called him a freak.
And you saw Max just break, you know, because all you want is your friends to see you, you know, for people to see you. And in that moment, she wasn't seen, and it was heartbreaking, especially since Clance is such a good person.
I know. And she could totally be there if you talk to her, I think, and like let her know what's going on. But like, you know, at the end of the day, even good people sometimes are fucking wrong.
Yeah.
They're just fucking wrong. You know, and you don't even know what to say about it. I loved her character. I think you're so right.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought I would be annoyed about her and her like boo thing, but it was such a good little side story about having to see your husband go off to war and all that.
100%. And like, it's so real. I feel like including little touches like that really fill out the world in a way that is really good and feels real, and it's like a real thing that people can relate to. It's focused. I think like a lot of these shows, like I said earlier, tend to focus on the trauma of being in a marginalized group. And I feel like by doing it this way, you also kind of make it more relatable to more people watching, which I feel like is better. Maybe, I don't know. There's arguments for both sides, but it is nice to see something people can relate this, and then maybe they can at least see them 100%. As humans going through a human experience.
Yeah, I think it's important to have 12 Years a Slave and, you know, movies like that. It's super important. But also, you know, sometimes it turns into like trauma porn. You know, like I think T explains it well, because like T won't watch stuff like that. He was like, I don't need to see it. I live it. I don't need to watch that kind of stuff.
That's true.
But I'm sure he would love the show because it's real about being human. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, I think that's what this movie's nailing. Lexi says in the chat, every time the phone rang or someone knocked on the door, she thought Clance's husband was dead. She did. She would pop up every time and said, oh no, every time someone knocked on the door. Oh no, it happened like 3 times.
Me too, yeah. I feel like during the whole show, I was like, oh no, he's dead now. Oh shit, he's dead.
We don't have too much time to talk about too many things, but I do want to get your ear about how did you feel when Shaw followed Lupe to the bar and we saw that whole moment, that whole part of that community and that world all opening up.
Yes,
and it was almost like
Shaw's
talk about that world like opening up in that moment. Like,
so throughout the show, we watched Carson's relationship with Darcy, Greta, kind of like blossom a little bit. Greta has this sort of like, you know, shame, I guess, also a little bit of shame and like knowing that she needs to hide being gay, but they're sort of like have a romance that is blossoming throughout the entirety of the show. And they finally get to go to a gay bar, or I guess Greta doesn't go to the gay bar immediately at first, but Carson gets to go to a gay bar at first. And it's like this secret thing. They do the Friends of Dorothy kind of thing. It's just like, I forgot what the entrance was, but it was a business or something like that. And then they went through a secret door and then went to the bar. And I thought that whole scene was like really cool, because I think that anyone from a marginalized society or group can tell you the importance of that like first moment where you find community, where you find people who accept you. And it can be really hard for people who never find that to exist as that person in a marginalized group. And it was really cool to see that moment of like, wow, there are people out here like me living and surviving, which is really, really important too, because I think throughout the whole series, she's a conversation with Max. She's like, I wish there was a word for people like us, you know? And she's still trying to discover what's going on, her feelings and everything like that, but doesn't have the space to do that. And the gay bar provided that for one episode.
Yeah, because then in the next episode, everything goes to shit. But I also loved it for the same reason. I loved that Kelly and Lupe were there and they finally like connected in that way. And you know, it's almost like, I feel like I've seen it before where when you're gay and you've been closeted or, you know, whatever, you haven't been exposed and then somebody opens the door to the big community. It almost like she was like learning how to be gay, right? Culturally, like in the community. And it was just so like, it was so nice. It was just felt so good to be like, yes, figure it out. Yes, have it. Yes. Good job. Yes. It was so nice. And then we saw Rosie O'Donnell, which was great because she is from she's from the original movie and she runs the bar. And, you know, she's even said, it's funny because A League of Their Own, the original movie, has become like a gay movie, a gay cultural icon, that whole movie in the community. Because there's like hints at it, like subtext. And like even Rosie O'Donnell, she says like, my character was gay, even though the director kind of disagrees. But Rosie, by being Rosie being in that movie, and you know how progressive at the time the movie was, and you know how women's focused it was, you know, bringing her back and having her open up the club was a really nice callback. It felt a really nice touch, like generations shaking hands in a way, you know.
That's a good way of putting it,
in a nice way. But then she finally talks Greta into letting her guard down, and she brings Joe to the bar, and they're all there. And you know, there's a parallel story happening with Max discovering her queerness, which is great as well. But at the bar, the cops come. And it's devastating.
Yeah, that's true. It was a hard scene to watch. I think it was a little bit of that trauma stuff, but I think you need it also. As I know we said, like, it shouldn't be the focus, but I think that like at some point in whatever series you're working on about a marginalized group, you do have to confront it at some point.
You can't have, because the show was doing win after win after win after win for them as marginalized groups, you know, like Max got the job at the factory that she got to try out. You know, Shaw was starting a relationship with Greta, and then it was blossoming to be more. Like, you can't, that's not how it really was. It was really actually really tough. And this reminded us about the world we live in and how awful it can be sometimes. But it's important for their character growth, right? Because I think I thought after that, Shaw's character was so interesting because it was so, she was ready. She was ready to leave Charlie. She was ready to go with Greta. She's ready to live this new life. And then that happened and everything. And then it felt like she didn't know what to do. And it felt so honest and real where it's like, do I deny who I am? Am I even this person?
Yeah.
What about Charlie? But is this how I also want to live my life, like this? And it was such a hard question. And the same thing was happening with Max, where, you know, she was being influenced somewhat by her uncle, and she had to realize that she could open the door to her uncle in that world, but she also could be herself.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a great statement when her uncle gave her the suit to wear, and she kind of adapted it and made it her own. And she was like, I'm not you, but I'm also not my mom. This is me. And I'm like, that's so cool that you need to like put into focus that, you know,
moments of self-discovery really for sure are like huge and important. And I feel like too, when you go and put yourself out there, right? A moment like that, a traumatizing moment where you see your friends like taken away, like Joe comes back and was like beat up and hurt, has to leave the team. Moments like that can easily make you decide, I need to go back and hide in my shell. I need to go back and stop trying to live this life and be my true self because it's being shunned by society. And I think that in the end, she does, right? She's like, well, she kind of like, I don't know, it's up in the air, but she definitely.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about the end. Yeah.
Kisses Greta and is like,
Greta,
I like you. And like, I don't know what's going to happen, but like, we'll see. And then her husband sees her and we're going to have to confront it in the next season.
I do really hate that they ended on that button. It was a little, it was a little like, it felt a little cheap to like on that one moment.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they're getting a second season, it doesn't matter. We're going to see more of it. What you just said also made me realize something, though. I'm a little wrong. Shaw doesn't make that discovery on her own that she might not want this. She's still all about it after that. It's Greta's withdrawal that makes her do that, go that way.
Yeah.
It's Greta. Because, oh man, she's really in love. Because after that happened, she wasn't traumatized and didn't want to be gay anymore and is going to go back to her husband and like hide herself. She was still about Greta. She was still comforting Greta, telling her it was okay, telling her it's fine, and trying to work out what they were going to do next. And Greta was like, you idiot, there is no next. Yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah, Greta decided that she was going to kind of like go back into her shell and hide a little bit, which is interesting. I think it was nice to see both sides of the spectrum.
It was real. It was super real. Yeah. And then, as you're saying, for the ending, Shaw seems like she's grown a lot, and it sounds like she's not going to go with Greta, but she is also not going to go home.
Yeah.
It sounds like she knows she has some work left to do to figure out who she is, and it's such a great moment. And then you get this cheesy moment with Charlie coming up and going, "Ooh."
It did feel like a CW show or like a
little bit. Seven Heaven or some shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it too much because they did set up a lot for Charlie and her being best friends and being this moment. What'd you think of the ending with Charlie? What do you think is going to happen?
I think the cliffhangerness of it is kind of like, well, I didn't need that part.
Sure.
But other than that, I do like it. I do like that we know immediately at the start of next season, we're going to address it. She's going to have to confront him. It's not something we're going to be waiting like 3 episodes into season 2 for this conversation to actually happen. Because I want season 2 to be more about her journey.
Well, you might. I hope you're right.
I hope so. If you're right.
Decades of watching TV has indicated what will probably happen is the new season's going to start with her leaving her home with Charlie to go back to the new season of the Peaches, and we don't see all that and see it come out later. You know what I mean? Like that's usually how shows will do that shit.
Yeah.
But maybe this will literally pick up right where it left off, and that would be fucking fantastic. We can follow you, like you said. We have all the time in the world. If we didn't even go to the new season and we just followed them for a couple episodes in their summer off, that'd be great.
Yeah, we could do that too. It could be a summer season.
Yeah, watching Greta go to New York, watching
that's
Esty
immediately
go back to
how
Cuba,
you extend it.
Watch,
on season, off season, seasons. There you go. You just doubled the whole show.
Yeah, and you can even make them shorter because there's not as much it's like season 1.5, right? 5 episodes off season, and then you have the big season, and we're back to.
We know how to milk everything, guys.
We need to get it. Give us a job. Streaming services, come on, do that. And then I would be remiss if we didn't just quickly talk about it, at least because Max's storyline culminates in a really great way, where she meets this woman at her Uncle Birdie's party. Come to find out, she's a pitcher in the Negro League. Even though she's a woman, they let her on because she's great. And she gives Max a chance to show us what she's got. And the leader of the team says, I'm going to sell both of you as a doubleheader. You want to come play baseball? And she can finally leave and go play baseball.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about all that ending?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah. I thought because at that point she was like really coming into her own. And I think she kind of got over the chip on her shoulder a little bit, and she had a chance to prove herself. She grew as a character, and she earned the thing that she was aiming for. And I'm happy with it, and I'm excited to see her plot line next season as well. Because honestly, I think I liked her storyline the most of the show.
It felt the most real and honest and fleshed out. And good. And earned. I mean, all the other girls just got on the team. We didn't see them play ever at all. So Max, we saw her fucking working for it.
Yeah.
I agree. I loved all of it. I just a quick shout out to her mom though. Like all the scenes with her mom and the way it all culminated at the end. That last discussion. And oh my God, the last conversation Birdie had with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
How satisfying was that? Where Birdie called the mom out and said, you never accepted me. And the mom was like, it was never about that. Mm-hmm. It's because you left me alone.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then for a second I was on her side and I was like, oh shit, fucking Birdie, you suck. And then Birdie was like, because I could feel like you wanted me to kill pieces of myself to stay. And I was like, wow, this got really real. Nobody's right. And this is real fucking life. That's real fucking life right there. Because she was doing it because then you saw she did it with her daughter, right?
Yeah.
She said, I have always known what you are, but I want you to. And she was doing that thing that you do where you subtly try to manipulate the person. She didn't realize she was doing it. She didn't go out saying, I want to change my daughter. I want to make her not the way she is. But it's a manipulation. It's emotional blackmail to say, look at your ancestors. Look at what they went through. I don't want that from you. So buck her down and hide some of yourself to do this, she was doing the same thing. And it was only until Birdie called her out that she realized it was happening. And all that and the culmination of Max's storyline with her side characters and to finally get on a team. Wow.
It was great.
So good.
It was great.
Except.
Uh-oh. It was really well handled. No excepts. It's perfect.
There is an except. Marcus, You don't fucking date your roommates? What the fuck, Max? You idiot! You're gonna go on the road with this girl you just met?
That's
and
gonna fuck up. Yeah, no,
oh
that's
my
gonna
god,
suck.
that's gonna blow up so much. You
but it's
never
date
fun. Your roommates.
It's
what kind
of
idiot? What kind of idiot, Marcus, ever would date their roommate? Only like a chump. Only like a fucking idiot would ever do that shit.
You're really going hard on this one point. Interesting.
I did it. It was me. I did it. I did it. My roommate. It was all. It turned out real bad.
Hey, it either works out and you get married, or you know it explodes.
And that's what I said to myself, and I was like, I'm cool both ways. Coming out of pandemic, I'm cool with an explosion.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway,
but they're gonna do a lot of fucking on the road, and it's gonna be really interesting to see.
Bro, they gonna fuck hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's so many little things we didn't even have the time to talk about. The fact that like Max was dating the pastor's wife, and like, you know, Greta was like too much for them, and she had to like tone it down, and like what that meant for her as a person. There's so many little caveats to all these characters that are so good, so rich, and honestly, if we had all the time in the world, we would have done 8 episodes for you guys and talked about every
single one. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
There's so much.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, like each episode's an hour, and I've watched shows that were just as long with like half as much to talk about, half as much going on. So
yeah,
I really felt like
care.
I got my money's worth of story content per minute in the show.
Yeah, agreed. Marcus, is there anything else major or big you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Sorry if we missed anything, guys. We tried.
I forgot to tell you. Oh,
hold on. An
really
update from Old Man Rom on Romeo and Juliet.
He says, I'm sorry about the Romeo and Juliet claim. I think I accidentally spread fake news. I swear I remember reading about an alternative happy ending every few days, but I can't Google it now, so it must have been false rumor, like Shakespeare is not Shakespeare rumor. Old Man Rom, get out of here with your fake
Old
news.
Man Rom,
Call you out.
I love Old Man Rom. You're a great man, and I love every time you join the chat and are so informative.
But then he also said, this is why you got to come to the chat, guys. Someone else did write a happy King Lear that was more popular for 150 years.
Wow.
How do you make King Lear? Have you read or seen King Lear?
I've seen King Lear.
I saw the one with Ian McKellen. It's fucking great, but that's a sad fucking show. The whole show is basically the whole play is basically about dementia.
Yeah,
it's fucking sad.
I saw King Lear.
How do you make that happy?
With the butler guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh,
that man can fucking act.
Really?
He is so
great.
Good. He's
isn't there a thing where he like someone called him out because this is like a real fucking actor, and why'd he do that show? And he was like, I got fucking paid.
Yeah. They're like, you're like a Shakespearean trained actor. He's like, yeah.
Why are you gonna go be like an Uncle Tom and be like their servant and all this shit? And he's like, I got fucking paid. I love that.
God,
I love that.
It was great. He's great. I love him. Okay.
So
there's a Shakespearean discussion happening in the chat, so come join it.
Yeah, we're not gonna read it. So Marcus, next week, I forgot to tell you at the beginning, but next week is my challenge, right?
Yes. Yeah,
because you gave me RRR. Yeah, it's my challenge. Okay. I'm bummed because I want to talk to you about Sandman, but I don't love it as much as everyone else.
Wow.
So I'm not gonna give it to you.
Interesting.
Guys, if you want to hear Marcus, you can give it to me.
No,
I'd love to talk about it.
I'm not going to give that shit to you. In the last episode we just watched, Sandman's like, hope. Mike drops during a fucking poetry battle that they were having. And I was like, this sucks.
Do you remember that moment from the comics?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was my favorite moment of comics ever. Anyway, guys, if you want to hear our Sandman discussion, pay us extra money at patreon.com/nowtrythiscast so we can afford to record an extra episode. Now Try This Hated Edition. Honestly, we would love to do that. But the premise of the show means we can't.
Yeah,
or fair. You give it to us on patreon.com/nowtrythiscast.
Now hate this.
Honestly, the spinoff writes itself. But guys, I also really wanted to give you Be a Puppy Cat, but I haven't had the chance to watch it yet because I've been so busy.
Yeah.
So something else that Lexi and I have been very passionate about these last 2 months for her summer vacation has been to watch Game of Thrones. I have just rewatched all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, so they are fresh in my mind. So I'm not going to make you rewatch it because we watched a lot of it together. Thank God. But I am going to make you watch and us talk about the new show, House of the Dragon, from HBO Max, and we're gonna watch that and talk about that next episode.
Yay!
Have you already watched it?
I am so excited.
Okay, great.
I watched the first episode. That's all I watched.
Oh, cool. We're gonna watch. I'll talk to you off pod about what we're gonna watch. Probably 3, but the 4th will come out by this weekend. So we can do that if you want.
Cool.
We'll talk about that
Sounds
later.
Good.
But at least 3. Is it House of Dragon or House of the Dragon? I feel like everyone says House of Dragon, but it's House of the Dragon,
baby.
Right, yes. House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Next week, guys. I usually tell you to do a whole bunch of stuff, but I know that we're supposed to only give you one call of action, so I'm going to try that this time.
Oh wow!
Guys,
okay, hold on.
I'm not going to. We didn't try to do anything else. We didn't try to do anything else. Yep. So guys, the only thing we've talked about you guys needing to do is join the Patreon. So that's the only thing I'm going to double down on now. Joining the Patreon literally is the only reason we're able to do this show this time around. Last time, we literally couldn't afford to give the time.
That's true.
But now, because you guys are helping defer the cost of this podcast, we are able to do it. But we want to do more for you. We want to do a Now Hate This. We want to give you more streams. We want to give you better content. We want to be able to give more on socials for you guys. But the only way that can happen is if our community gets bigger. And the only way that happens is at patreon.com/nowtrythiscast. $5 and $1 tiers. Join what you can. Give us what you can. And even if you can't, just follow us, join the conversation, let us know what's going on. But patreon.com. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was well put. It helps us out a lot. We're able to get new equipment, upgrade things, or honestly, it mainly just allows us to pay the hosting fees for shit. Where right now is what it's doing.
It's true. So, but it has helped us. Like, it's why we're able to do Pokemon Arceus.
Yeah,
it's why we're able to do that challenge, and we have more stuff planned for the future. So please,
100%.
patreon.com/nowtrythiscast. One word.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We didn't do the would you recommend it, all that stuff.
Oh shit. Okay. Marcus, did you like the show?
I did like the show. Did you like the show?
I loved it. I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
Really great. Really fun watch. So I'm so glad I watched it. I'm so excited to see the second season.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those shows where I'm actually going to watch the second season because there's shows like You, right? You is a great example where we liked it.
You gave it
we
to
enjoyed
me, right?
it. It was a fun ride. Yeah. But we never watched the second season or the third. It's just who's got time. I'm actually going to watch the second season, I think. I'm sorry. I ruined the later question. I'm sorry. Yes, I liked it. Next question.
Would you watch more?
Yes, I would watch more.
Nice.
Would you?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch more. I'm excited.
Nice. Would you recommend it to people?
I know this is offensive to say, but I was thinking about who I would recommend it to, and then I was like, oh, I recommend it to my mom, but then I was like, why am I recommending it to my mom? Is it because she's gay? And then I was like, man, I'd had a microaggression against my mom. I had a whole moment.
At the same time, maybe how do you share it with her? Because she'd love it. I don't, it's so hard. It's so hard. You figure it out and let us know how it goes.
I'll go through that sort of like growth journey and figure out how that goes. But yes, I would recommend it. I think everyone should watch it, including my mom, not because she's gay. How about you, Nick?
I would recommend it to everyone, including your mom, because she's gay. Guys, thank you so much. Join our Patreon.
Guys, remember to go out there and try things.
No more calls to action. It's just the Patreon.
They have to try things. It's part of life.
Get out of here.
Philosophy. Bye.
Friends get together so they can try things. You're invited to this podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
Get together so they can try things. You're invited to this podcast so you can try things. We'll stop singing so that we can all now try this. Okay, going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.